So let's look at the pattern. So what is pattern? Based on what we've learned so far, what I told you about the box model, what is padding?
You said padding is inside the border.
Inside the border. What is
Yeah.
inside the border? You didn't mention that thing, what that is inside the border.
The padding
The padding is what? You have to
inside.
mention what the pattern is inside the border. What is inside that border? You understand? This is what we are talking about.
The space.
The space. We are talking about space. So if you say there's something inside the border, how is that thing inside the border? So mentioning the name is very important. You're gonna say inside the border just like that. So anything you generate space around an element content inside of any defined border, it is what we call padding. So you see here, the text is here, and then look at the border in the space around, you see. So that the space, all these space are what? Padding. So you can see padding top, padding right, padding bottom, and padding left. So that's the same thing as we did. And it also has the same thing, top, right, bottom, left, right? You can also use this percentage as these units or pixels or rem or and so let's look at.
You said?
So you see the pattern. So here we can use it for these tests. These tests. As in here we can use these values. We can use these values to make sure that this test is what like this in the middle.
Mm.
You understand? Based on this value that we set here. We can push this here, push this down, push this here, push this here. So if you want it to be centered in the middle, you just put 50, 50, 50, 50. So that it will happen. All of them sides are equal. So this will be in the middle, right?
Mm.
So that is what the pattern is all about. And we also have shortcuts or shorthand, which is padding. You specify all what the four sides,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So that is all about the padding. So when there are two, this one will share with the top and bottom, and this one will share with the left and right. So
Mm.
when there are three, this one will share with what? Left and right, right? And
Yeah.
this one what? The top, and this one with the bottom. But when it is only one, apply to all the sides, right? So the CSS width property specify the width of the element content area. You understand? The content area is the portion inside the pattern. You understand?
Mm.
Content area is the portion which is inside the pattern. So any portion inside the pattern is also considered as what? Content area. You understand? So the content area is also inside the pattern. So we have border, understand? And then we have margin of the elements. So that's why we have box model, right? That's why we have box model. You see how it is, what I was trying to show you, right? The content is
Yeah.
there, the padding is there, and the border is there, and the margin is there. You understand? So here we have content, padding, border, margin. So all these things, you can just see the explanation here. See. So we can use all of them. You see, border, margin, padding. We can use all of them together. Both can also apply to the heights. Understand? So these are some of them. And then what again? The box sizing. Box sizing. I think the last time I talked about this, if you can remember, with the box sizing property defines how the width and the height of an element are calculated. Should they include padding and border or not? Understand? So how the height and width are calculated, whether should they include padding and border. So they are all together are calculated. So that's why normally when you have a website, you see sometimes we see here we add what? Border sizing and we see border box. You understand? So the box sizing can have this, as I say, content box or border box. But the content box is what default. Which means the width and height property include only the content. It doesn't include the border and the padding. It's just the content only. So if here I set this to box content, the what? This will only include the content. It doesn't what calculate the padding and margin. Understand? But if I set it to what? The border box, it will make sure it added or it include the padding and border, and based on the browser or the settings, it will what? Calculate it and adjust it very well for you. That's why mostly you can see that a lot of people are using border box. But if you want to ignore the padding, the border, you don't care about it, whether it is calculated or not, you can just use content box so that it will target only what? The content inside the elements. Now, if you want to make sure you are precise with what you are doing, you just add border box so that it will what? Look at the width, the height, and therefore it will include the content itself, the padding and border, and then calculate it. Make sure you have a smoother layout or based on responsiveness. So to keep the width at 300 pixels, no matter the amount of padding, you can use the box sizing, which is border box. And this causes the element to maintain its actual width. You see? It causes the element to maintain its actual width. So if you increase the padding, the available content space will decrease. So that's why a border box is very important. Even if you increase the padding, after maybe you have already published the website, the available content space, if there's any available space, will decrease. And therefore, using the box sizing property to keep the weight at 300 pixels, no matter the amount of padding. So now it is that the weight is 300 pixels, 300. So now you say this one is what? Border box. But you set also what? 25 pixels. So this 25 pixels is not going to be added to this. No. I understand. It's not going to add it. The width will still remain 300 pixels. But this 25 pixels will adjust to the space inside. You understand? This 25 will adjust to each one, to inside the space in the box or in the div. So that's what it's talking about here. Okay, so I think that is all about padding, margin padding. It's not something difficult. We just need to know how we apply the values, the shorthand, and normally just use the shorthand because it's easier and it is shorter to write just a single line of code than using all of the properties, like making it margin top, margin left, unless there is a situation whereby you just need only the button or the margin button or just a single property. Yes. But mostly if you are designing and you want it to be applied, mostly people just use it to make it simple. Just one line and then just put the values to specify whether it is margin top, bottom right, or what, or left. Yeah, so that is all about margin patterns, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we can call it a day. Understand? So maybe later, I don't think we will deal with this again because
The same thing.
the same thing, but although it has a deep understanding, but I think so far what we did, it has given you a lot of what I think some kind of information that you can also use it. Hmm. So now, what is your projects? To style the blog page created in week 3, right? Are you there?
Yeah.
So now, what is your project? I'm talking about this. You did this, right?
Yeah, I did it.
Uh,
Yeah.
So now, what are you going to do? It's up to you. For me, I don't have problem with whether you want to design a different one or want to use the same one. I don't have problem with it. But our main target is how you can take that design and then do what? And then style it. When I talk about style it, meaning apply CSS, right? So assuming that you have this one and you want to apply maybe CSS to it. Let's say this is your simple blog, right? And we say, oh, you've already designed this. So what about, can we open this? Look at this 1 minute. Let's say, can we open, let me open a new window. Now delete this for now. And then I'll update it later. Then if I open the folder, I open the folder, I simple block layout. This was your project, right? But if this was
Yeah.
your project, if this was your project, then just view it here. So now this is your project, right? So what do we have to do? This is a project. And what do we need? We need a star, right? And to create a star, what do we do? To create a star, what do we do? We create a link, right? Link,
Yeah.
right? And we can choose this one called link CSS for the easy. In order not to write it, you can just click this and it give you all the what? The linking of what? The external CSS, right? So you ought to have a link and the relation is style sheet, which is the CSS, and then the reference is going to the file. So now this is the name, right? You can even copy this name, the same thing, and then create a file, and then use the same name, style.css, right? So now I've linked this file to this what? This page, right? So now I can test it and see, is it correct? Did I link it very well? Then I go to see body. Did it work? Yeah, it works. So it works, it means that you link it correct. Then you can clear this and then start looking at what do you want to do in your project. To apply the style, as I said, just style the blog page. So we have learned a lot of things. What did we learn? Here, you learn how to apply color, right?
Mm.
You learn how to apply units, how to apply the background, whether background color, background image, background position. Then we came to what? Border, margin, and padding. So you can apply this for these 6 properties, right? So if I say that, okay, you can come into your design and look at what do you need to apply to. For instance, you have a simple layout, right? Well, you say, oh, let me apply some, maybe, let me apply some color here. It depends on you. Me, I just want to apply things that we've learned. You've learned color here. So you say, let me apply color to what? To this. So you can go here and say, what is this? Where can I find this? Or target this. I'll go here and say, oh, this is where I can what? Target this. Where? Where can I target this? You see here. No, this is here. H1, right? So now, instead of putting this, you just make sure, because we are not doing inline CSS, we are doing external, which is professional. So you can just clear this off. Right? You can clear all
Yeah.
this off. And now you apply the same color by targeting H1. But think of it as, if you target H1, any H1 that you find here will also be affected. You understand?
Mm.
So make sure that you know what you are targeting. So if you are targeting H1 and you realize that there is no any H1 in anywhere, you can just use H1. You can come here and say H1, right? And see what do you learn? We learn color. And then what color do you want? Maybe I'll use blue. It is blue, right?
Mm.
You've applied a color. Then you ask yourself, what did you learn again that is possible to apply to this test? And we learn background color, but here background color will not make it look nicer because unless it depends on what you are doing. But here you can say adding background color for tests is not more. It's not something we normally use or normally do. You understand? Unless the background we cannot see this text on the background. You understand? For instance, if you have a background color of white, right?
Mm.
Can we see the text here?
No.
So now, since we cannot see the text here, what do I need to do? I can add background color of what? Black, right?
Mm.
Right? So now I can see the text. You understand?
Mm.
By looking at it has taken all the space here. So it means that I can add what? Width, so that I can shorten this, right? Or
Yeah.
we've learned what we call, so now looking at this, we know we've learned margin, we've learned padding, right?
Yeah.
So now, which one do you think I can apply for only this right side to be small, to come like this, to small?
Margin.
Margin. But what margin? Is it left? Is it right? Is it bottom?
Right.
Right. So now you see that in this situation, you only needed one property.
Mm.
You understand? So you can just say margin right. And then you apply the unit that you want. Maybe you can say 20 pixels. What happens? It's still what? It's still small. Because look at one, it's okay. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 50% is what? The middle. divide that into 2, like 50% of it. But remember, if you start to increase or decrease based on where you have, it will still what? Make sure, because the thing, this simple block, it's fixed inside it. So immediately it cannot fix here. It will make sure it's what? It comes down. So that's why it is very important that I told you that we use different what? Viewports. You understand? So now if I'm going like this, you see it is decreasing. And so when I reach here, it came down. It's doing that because there's no space for it to stay longer. But if I had used maybe a query media or make it responsive, when I reduce it, it will still reduce it, and it will reduce the text, and it also reduce this. So this one will mostly stay in the same place. You understand? And it's still reducing the text to fix what? You see, look at it reaches it what? It cannot what shrink again. You understand? So that is why for now, just look at how to apply the text. Don't look at the responsiveness. Just look at how to apply the color, the background color, the margin, the padding. Understand? That is what we need to do now. So for instance, I added this. I can just come here and say that I finished with this. I come here and look at this, right? And these are what? These are in, like, they are a group, right? So just target, where are they? You look at, you see, they are here. You understand? So it depends on you. If you apply style to this style will affect all of this because that is their children's, right? So it depends on you to look at what you have to do now here. That is why I told you we use what? We did selectors. You understand? So you can decide. For instance, if here I took the nav, which apply to all this. So if I say nav and apply background color and I say green, what happened? That green affected all of them, right? But if I said I want to choose only one, so if I say nav, then I give a space and I look at this. Nav, where is nav? And inside nav, there is what we call A. All of them have A, right? But I want to apply that color to only one thing. Then that is where this selector comes. The ID and the class is important. So now I can say that I want to add class here. In the class, I give it as A1, right? So now you see that all of them have A, but not all of them have class of A1, right? So now I can target this A1 only. So when I come here, I can see dot A1 because it is class. You understand? I can clear this because I'm following the pattern. Inside of nav, target A1, right? So then I do this and I see now I'm going to apply background color to only what? The first, the first link, which is home. If I do that, I see background color, I'm going to apply maybe red. What happened? What happened here?
Change to red.
So you see that I only target only the one, the home. So all the other will be still remain green. So that is where the class and the ID is important. Understand? So I can do the same thing to all of them. I say this one will have a class. This one can also have a class. If I set the class to be A1, it will also be red, right? Because I said what? The color of the A1 is red. So if I say you also have a red and say A1, this also be red. But if I want to give different color and I say A2, I can come here and say, now I have now A2 dot A2. And I said, I want you to have background color of maybe, I can see, I want it to have this color of aqua. You understand now?
Yeah.
So just go on and think of it. Apply all of the style that you need, but don't just use it or misuse it. Make sure it is necessary or it is important there, or you feel that, oh, this one will look good. Or you can just go online and look at some of the other styles.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I'll leave you today and then project. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it depends on whether you want to use the same, the one you did before and style it, or you want to even maybe create a different one and then style it. My aim is just try to apply the style and apply all the style that we did. You
Okay.
can go online and find different style and then apply it.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll see you on Friday.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.